Learn how getters and setters help control and improve data inside objects. In this example, we are going to be looking at how getters and setters help us control and improve data inside objects. So in my script section, I have a comment that says create object person. So I'll go ahead and make this object now. And I'll give it some properties. Now, inside this, as you can see it, I want to store a language. En for the language, and I also want to pass in is getter, and inside this getter I want to return this dot language, and then apply an uppercase method to it. Now it's time for me to display this, so I'll go ahead and do that. Document dot create by dot inner HTML is equals to person.lang. Now, if I add lines, what do you think is going to happen? Now let's see. Now you see that our code is being returned back to us, which is to tell us that there is an error inside our code. So either one or two. So if you look closely at this code, what do you think is happening? What do you think is wrong? Okay, let's look at it from the beginning together. Now this part, we store language as English, and here we are using a getter to convert this language to uppercase, right? Whenever it is being accessed. Now we are now trying to access that getter method outside, but instead of giving us the en and convert it to uppercase, it is actually returning back our normal code for us. Now, what we have here followed simply this flow. Data is stored here as en. Then this one will run when it is being accessed from outside, and it's supposed to convert this to uppercase and return an output. But instead of doing that, it is returning our code. Well, it's a very simple thing. Let's look at what is actually happening. You know, this is a method, and in JavaScript, methods are always like this. A particular method, it will always carry this opening and closing bracket, and inside it, whatever you want to pass in, maybe some task, then it will go inside it. But look at the way I'm calling the uppercase. You can see that I've omitted that bracket, and that is why it is returning code instead of the normal thing. You can see now that it's returning the correct value for us. So this refers to this object. It's accessing not only the property but the object itself, and inside it is speaking this en, and it is basically converting them to uppercase, as you can see. So with data, we're able to control how data is read in our code. So the getter changes how data is read by converting it to uppercase. Now let's look at another part of this, which is the setter method. Now let's look at the setter method, and I've added a few comments here so that you can make the code and see the difference between the two. So first of all, I need to create a person object as well, and inside it I'll add first name, last name. Now this time around, I'm going to add language, but I'm not going to give it a value, but instead I will make it empty and use double quotes. Now, I cannot use the set method to set a method, and I want the function to accept a parameter of length and then return, sorry, this dot language equals to lang dot to upper case. Now, after doing that, set an object property using a set. How do you set an object property using a setter? Well, just call the object and the method and then pass in the setter parameter. So this en will go inside this place that you can see. Now we can display data from the objects. I call person dot language. I omitted the assignment operator here. And now you can see English EN, which stands for English shorthand and capital letter. So here we are setting what we want it to display. So if I pass anything else, maybe I pass SP, I don't know whether that is Spanish or EP, or I pass something like Mandarin. So it will pick it up and then it will display it and also convert it to uppercase. So what this code is doing is that it takes input value from here and convert it to uppercase, then store it inside what we have here, which is the language. So that's setter control how data is written. The setter changes how data is stored by converting input before saving it to control its own data quality. Now, the purpose of this tool is that instead of letting data be changed or read freely, getters and setter give you control on how data behave inside an object.